go like this. Good morning, good morning. Hey, Al. Okay, forgive the delay. It won't be live, but I will post, so I'm recording it, and then I'll upload that recording onto YouTube for replay. That's what we got. So, blocks, blankets set aside. Today, my aim is to begin gathering together and beginning to think about, practice, and experience how all the aspects of this practice come together. And so, where we're at, this is T.S. Little, it's called Yoga of the Subtle Body. The pelvic floor has the capacity to alternately widen and narrow, and then to retract and to drop like a diaphragm. The net of musculature that forms the pelvic diaphragm does not act in isolation. Its movements are linked to the muscles of the inner groin, the hamstrings, the buttock, the abdomen, and the feet. So there's a community and a continuity of myofascia between the muscles of the legs and the pelvic floor. An isolated contraction of the pelvic floor is inadequate to disperse the tension that we place here. It's inadequate to bring a more full range of sensation and mobility. So if we were just to practice Mulabandha, that sometimes there will be, you can do a practice of only holding and releasing Mulabandha, lift that sensation of gathering. And yet the pelvic floor and the tension that is related there, which is related to the low back, which is related to holding anxiety in your hips or your belly, all of that is what requires us to move through the asana sequencing, right? Initially, it's important to practice asana in order to generate movement in the large muscles of the hips, inner thighs, upper thighs, to move from the outside, the most gross and large body function, into the subtle. Once the clenched rigidity of the outlying areas of the exterior pelvis are reduced, you can engage in more subtle articulation within the pelvic floor. And again, it's this sensation of why is this important? Why is there this focus on the pelvic floor? And it isn't even the pelvic floor, but the pelvic floor represents the softest point of connection between our subtle body and our physical body. When we are uptight, we're familiar with our shoulders, no? I'm tight, I've had a difficult phone call, I'm in a hurry, I'm doing this. And so what would be necessary here is that I would drop and raise my shoulders. So if you do that right now, just for a second, shoulders up, shoulders down, shoulders up, shoulders down. You build some circulation and then you really put it down and you pause. And you can feel the flush of change and all the other auxiliary muscles and posture that go with that. We're familiar with the head. We're familiar with the shoulders and the neck. We might say, oh, I have really tight hamstrings. I have a really tight low back. But all the tension in the low body is relating to a sensation. Why do you have the tension in your low body? Why are your hamstrings tight? It's not necessarily because you went running. We're tight in the low body because we're afraid. We're holding ourselves together. And so to pulse and to release, physically at first, and more importantly, interior, a sensation of energy. And so today, we're going to have a 4 count in, 4 count out, regular breath. And we'll pulse the pelvic floor without relationship to the breath. And we'll do that once we're into the Kriya, because first we start with the asana, and the asana releases this tension out of the body. It gives us a sense of arrival, and we can start from there to know who we are, right? Just so you understand, we're going to go asana, we're going to find the breath structure, and then this lightest pulse of the pelvic floor, because we're getting better and better at it. And we'll do that 4 different times today. And this gives us a sense of well-being. I'm making better decisions recently. I'm holding, it's easier to make a decision. I can see what I need and where I'm required. It isn't about doing what I want, but it is about articulating this is necessary and this I can put down. Because I'm getting clearer in my body without that fear, I have to take very different action. I'm not reacting, now I'm choosing. So Mulabandha is sometimes a difficult place to understand because we neglect it so deeply. Palms together, heart out. Let's try it out. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. I bow to everything outside of me, and I bow to everything inside of me. May they meet and may they rise. 3 times, inhale. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. And roll your shoulders and roll your wrists and shake it out. We'll start the playlist. Color in your heart. Color in your heart. And setting your blocks, blankets aside, you will come to stand. And with your feet wide, start to swing your heels side to side. I am going quiet this week. There is some need for just space and quiet. So you may use the soundtrack. It's especially useful in the first half. And then always notice, when do you need the quiet? Exhale, exhale, exhale. We go. Feet wide, hands wide. Good. Knees soft, take your right hand towards your left foot or left thigh. Inhale up. Left hand down. Inhale up. Continue. One more each side. Good. Hands wide. Bring your right elbow to your left knee. Inhale, open, exhale, close. Open, close, in, out. And change. Axe, in, axe. Keep repeating the same side. Setting it down. Hands on the hips. Your knee up into your chest to sweep around to put the tip of your toe to the ground. Draw your heel up, your knee up, but keep your hip low and heel to the floor. Inhaling up and around, tips of the toe, and up and around, and the tip of the heel. Inhaling and exhaling. So good, one more. And tip of the toe, stay back. Bend your front knee, bend your back knee, and then press. Good. So you're drawing your heel forward over the ball of your foot and then sending your heel back and down, right out of your hip. Front knee stays nice and steady. And as you work there, turn your back toes in. And so your back heel is out to an angle. And you can feel through the outer edge, right hand high. 3, 2. Good. Pause your heel down, your right hip forward, lift your right thigh away from the floor. And then down. Left knee up, around, and tip of the toe. What would it feel like to have no fear in your legs, in your hips, in your belly? Imagine that what we're doing is releasing years of patterns, the way we have tried to hold so many moments of our lives right. Bend your knee, draw your heel forward, press back. Anybody who's been a mother or a parent, how is it that I was entrusted to this? Oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. Or if they've been sick, or if they've been injured, or how to care for our families. We hold that, so let's let it out of the body. Press your back heel. And turn your back toes in and your back heel out. Left hand high. That we could really just arrive in the order, the faith, the clarity of right now. And give our bodies permission to stay. Heel down. And then down. Shake it out. It's like clearing all the other stories out of our bodies. Heels wide, sit your seat down, a little bit side to side, build the crease in your hips. And maybe you've just managed to empty your household for a second. Hold a great ball and you have a moment to yourself. So take all the days of care and flush them out of your body. And come into your own movements and your own gesture as you're on your own mat for a moment. Knees back. And get a little smaller. Start to flush through your body out through the hands as you need to. A little bit smaller. A little bit racy, a little more intimate. Get in there. And really flush out any old resentment, old anger, impatience. Go, go, go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and stand tall. From the inner thigh to the inner heel to the big toe to the little heel to the back hip. Until you are you again. And down. So the blanket comes beneath your knees. And you bring your knees down. And you fold yourself back. And an inhale brings you up and you tuck your toes. And you find dog. To in. To child. To in. To dog. To in. To child. To in. And dog. One more round. And find your way into your dog. Pedal it out a moment or two. One knee bends, one leg presses. Turn of the chin. Walking your feet to your hands. 2 fists fit between. And blocks up ahead of your little toes. Hands wide, sit your seat down, thumbs up, heart up. Inhaling all the way up. And then hands wide, sit down, hands down. Left foot steps back, left knee to the blanket, hands up high, inhale. And hands down, exhale. Stepping up, sitting down to rise. And sitting down, right foot back, right knee down. Inhaling up and down. Stepping up to rise. To fold. Left foot back, left knee down. Inhale up. And down. Stepping up, sitting down. Inhale, stand. And sweep wide. Right foot, right knee. Hands up. And down. Step up. Stand up. One more each side. Follow your breath all the way down and into the floor, and all the way up into your gaze. All the way down into the floor. Press down and you will rise up. Hands wide, sitting down, right foot back, right knee down. To rise. And to fold. Set your blocks aside, build your downward facing dog, step back. Knees soft, widen your seat, trying to pull your feet apart lightly. Try to pull your thighs apart. Try to widen your hips and then wag your tail. So we're widening and narrowing the pelvic floor and we're releasing what's caught there. Knees together to the floor, feet together, tops of the feet flat, back towards child. As we come up, your hands a half step forward. And the left hand a little turn to the left, right hand a little to the right, chaturanga arms. And we start to move. And here we're narrowing the pelvic floor. We're gathering it in and up into the body. Inhale back, exhale forward. As you come forward, hug your knees together, hug your feet together. Use your legs. And this movement, yes, it's a push-up, and yes, it will give you a stronger body, but at the same time, use it to get into your emotions, to flush them through. Old anger, old holding, now is the time, so they don't accumulate in us, because they will become illness or injury or identity. Not sure which is worse. Rise up. Tuck your toes. Set your blanket aside and come onto your outer foot. Step your right foot up. And as you rise, your right knee goes to your back heel. Your back heel draws up towards the right knee. Strengthen your legs, scissor your thighs. And as you zip your thighs together, the pelvic floor rises actively in your mind. Gather it up towards your diaphragm. Gather your diaphragm up and into the body on your exhalation. Stand in your feet. You are elevating your internal awareness. Rise, 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 all with strength. Feel it. Narrow the pelvic floor. Bring your thighs closer and then let it down. Feet together. Roll to your outer right foot. Step your left foot halfway up. Rolling over, left knee towards the right heel. Right heel towards the left knee. Scissor the thighs. Feel the pelvic floor rise. That it is not static. Engage the pelvic floor. Rising up towards the diaphragm. On the exhale, the diaphragm up into the body. And the left hand all the way up, out. That you could wring out what you've gathered into that subtle tissue and start again on your own terms. And down. And pedal. Widen your feet to the outside edges of your mat and keep trying to widen your seat. Widen the back of your diaphragm. Drop your head, lengthen through the back of the spine, through the soles of your feet, and walk it up to the top. Your hands, 2 fists fit between the feet. Add a strap. Sit down to stand up. Your strap is long enough to come up over your good shoulders. To rise and fold. Feeling from your hips into your heels, from your heels into your toes. That this clutch of the low body can become who we think we are. Turn the palms to face back, the hands close closer to the hips. Sit your seat back, widen your seat. And then fold over, ribs to thighs, hands overhead, heels down, toes long, drop your head. This is our flow. Sit down, hands down, look forward, stand tall. I am this. Exhale, sit. Inhale, fold. Exhale, down. Inhale up and down. 2 more. Fold over. Make space in the chest, the upper back, the back of the neck. Go 1 more time. Sit it down. Fold it over. And now we stay. Turning softly side to side. You bend your left knee and you turn right. You bend your right knee and you turn left. The backs of your legs grow long. Widen your seat. As you widen your seat, feel your low back lengthen out. Feel the arms widen and the collarbones broaden. For 2. Lengthen out from your heels into your toes. Drop your head again. And then hands down. Look down. Sit down. Strap down. Stand up tall. Feel heels, hips, heart, head, beyond. We shake it out. Right heel toe to the floor, left knee to rise. Interlace your fingers and use the length of your hamstrings to really send your right thigh bone back, your right shin bone back, and come up out of that right hip, right hand high. Flex the left foot, lift it as though standing on a box, left hand high. Open the elbows, open the finger joints and the palms. Right knee bends and you pivot. Put the left heel on the back wall. Stay, navel to spine. Now scissor your thighs. Use the pelvic floor to hold the pose and to light your spine. Heel, pelvis, heart, hands. Set it down. Hands up. Excellent. Interlace your fingers, pressing up. Going forward and going back. Going forward over the heel and back. Draw your heel forward, stay. Draw your left hip forward, scissor your thighs. Lift the back thigh, lift your left hand, put it together. And now feel, gather the pelvic floor up through you. Up through you. Release your hands. Keep that pelvic floor lifting. It is your stability, your home. Lift, knee to chest. And down. That if we hold ourselves together at the appropriate moment, it takes the strain out of the rest of our body. Left foot, heel toe, right knee, rise. I am this. What a relief. Not to figure it out with my head, but to feel it. Left heel down, left toes long. This will open the chest. Left hand high. This will open the breath. right hand high. Open the elbows. A bend in the left knee, hinge, pivot, right heel back. Open the back knee, open the elbows, open the finger joints. Now scissor your thighs, put it together. Start to hold yourself more clearly right at the base of your body. And toes to the floor. Interlace your fingers, draw your back heel forward and back over the ball of your foot. Good. And then with the heel forward, the hip forward, lift your right thigh, press into your right hand. Scissor your thighs, find the pelvic floor. From there, release your hands, keep it. Pelvic floor active and rising. Lift off and draw your knee to your chest, from your legs, from your base. And set it down. Clear. Try to widen your toes and pull your heels in so slightly. Don't move your feet. Heels in, spinning your toes apart. Feel the pelvic floor rise. And sit it down. Hands back, heels wide, knees side to side. Our feet are the beginning of our posture. Our postures are the beginnings of our thoughts. Right foot to the center, left ankle over the knee, side to side. Our thoughts and sensations are the beginnings of our perception. Heart up. So if our feet aren't square, we can't see right. Right hip to right heel. How amazing our family is. How appropriate our home is. Heart up. How important our work is. Starts in our feet, runs through our legs, and connects us to our lives, right? And letting go. Heels wide, knees side to side. The other side. Now when we finish this, right ankle over left knee, side to side, we'll build a cross-legged seat as we always have. We'll build a 4 count in and a 4 count out as we have. Find the structure of your breath. And then we'll just pulse Muladhara. Walk your left hip to your left heel, your hands up, your heart up. Working here, or wrap your left arm around. Send your right knee forward and pause. Imagining that opening that right hip like opening a fist. A very old, dusty, but familiar fist. Old, long frustration out of the body. Legs out, shake out the feet, shake out the knees. Now we build the cross-legged seat, right? Adding a block or a blanket, your hips higher than your heels. If you choose today, one heel comes in and you sit that heel into the perineum, right between the sits bones. It's up to you. It's an option. It's a technique. Maybe it works for your knees and your hips, maybe not. There's the option. Smooth your breathing, close your eyes. Whole body opening, listening. Four counts in, 4 counts out. Let your attention rest at the pelvic floor. Don't change anything. Be aware of it. If you're sitting on your heel, feel that pressure right on the perineum. Soften your shoulders and your face. Soften your anticipation. And very lightly, The breath steady and continued. Just find a little pulse. Start to feel the pelvic floor. Start to explore at a muscular level. A little catch and a release. A little pulse. Maybe it's your count. 4 pulses in, 4 pulses out. 30 seconds, just this way. You're doing great. Tuck your chin, keep it going. And lengthen your spine, lifting your heart, lifting the back of your head. Jalandhara Bandha. So drawing yourself up out of the pelvis will help this little pulse. Just 20 more seconds. And release. Change your seat if you need to. Roll your shoulders if you need to. Hands up high. Let's clear it out. Soften the breath, the pulse of the belly, a whisper of ha. Keep the breath. Close your mouth, out the nose. Same breath. Fold your fingers into the tops of your knuckles. Open your palms, shoulders down 26 times. We go. 5, 4, 3, 2. Inhale. Heart up, chin in. 3 sips. So heart up, chin in. Keep that. Lift the pelvic floor. Keep that. Hook your thumbs. Open your hands. Keep that. When you breathe out, lift your chin out the top of your head. Release the pelvic floor. Go wide. Go down. Be free. And simply feel. Let your legs out long. Shake your feet side to side and your knees up and down. Rebuild the cross of your seat. Easy pose. The heels are underneath the knees. We will keep working that. Right now it's a lot to think about. The bandhas are quite a complex combination, but they are useful. Mental health, physical stamina, mental focus, a sense of identity that we can determine. It all starts there. We're coming, little at a time, right? Navel forward, navel back. You're on the front of the pelvis and then the back. Inhale forward, exhale back. Close your eyes a minute. Just flush out the tension of the hips. Get a little quicker. The last 20 seconds, have some freedom, have some play. Let it move. Find out that you don't need to hold in the way that you have. Top of the head stays steady. 5, 4, 3, 2. Pause tall. Inhale, just pause. Heart up. Lift the pelvic floor like you're closing the bottom of a bowl. And then you release and you're letting the bowl empty. Let it empty more, further, more fully. Emptiness. Emptier, emptier, emptier. From the seat on the floor, feel it. Fingertips to the shoulders, turn left, turn right. Inhale left, exhale right. Close your eyes, move from your seat. Wrist over elbow, go. Inhale, exhale. Three, two, one. Center, 3 sips go. Gather the base, pelvic floor gathers. Close that bowl, let it fill with energy. Open the base of the bowl, drop your hands, let it all drain out, washing away. Emptier and emptier and taller and freer. Set your blanket aside, bring a block with you as you lie onto your back, building bridges. Elbows down beside you, heels under the knees. You're going to peel the hips up, press the elbows down, lift your heart, rolling down, inhaling up. For 3, for 2, and for 1. And then rolling down and pause. Add the block between your thighs. Heels turn out, toes turn in. 4 counts in, 4 counts pause, 4 counts out. And for each of those pauses, a little pulse. For each of the counts, a little pulse at the pelvic floor, smaller, less physical. The legs may never move. 4 pulses in, 4 pulses pause, 4 pulses exhale. One more round. And releasing Mula Bandha, just 4 counts in, 4 count pause, 4 counts out. just the breath. And as you empty, become emptier. Keep going emptier, more and more empty. And in that emptiness, everything is possible. Set your block down. Right hand overhead, left knee rising and down. Left hand overhead, right knee rising and down. Find your rhythm, find your movement. When you're ready, the legs extend. Wherever you are, the heel that stays on the floor, press down. The hand that also stays on the floor, press down. And as you press down, as you anchor, elevation becomes effortless. So anchor yourself into the floor where you find it. Even the back of your head is a support. Substantiate your presence with that pressure and free yourself to rise. We go. So it's not about pulling yourself up. It's not about pushing yourself into a different state of awareness. It's about pressing down, anchor, and in that, inviting a rise, an effortless ability of flight. That this is how we evolve. We press down to rise up. Three, two, 1, feet come down, relax your feet side to side, your knees up and down, your tail side to side, drop your hands, soften your fingers, be empty and yet wildly full, light, full of effortlessness. Hands on the crease of your hips, 4 counts in, 4 count pause, 4 counts out. Increase your capacity for excellence, for revelation, for reciprocity. Give it order. Draw your knees in, roll your way up. 3 times forward and back. And then you'll build a kneeling seat with a block between your heels, your hands on your thighs. And forward and back through the spine. So if kneeling isn't appropriate, you're going to sit on a chair, thighs in parallel, hands on thighs. Inhale, exhale. One option is right here, one option is hands on knees or hands on heels. Five, 4. Find neutral between front and back. Elbows back, palms up. This is inhale. Elbows stay bent, hands overhead. This is exhale. The spine stays steady as the arms move, the eyes close, the breath steady. Out and in. 2, 1. Hands up high, go 3 sips in, make your hands into cups. Heart up, chin in, lift the pelvic floor, everything rising like smoke through the body to the crown of the head, firm, the arms open, the elbows, breathe out the top and all the way down. Hands on thighs. And find that little pulse of Muladhara. It's not physical. Like a little upward current. Just find a little pulse right there. And when you let it go, a downward dropping. So it doesn't need to be fast. And then 4 pulses in, 4 pulses pause, 4 pulses out. A minute. If it's too much, just let the breath be free and find little pulses at Muladhara. Let it be unfamiliar. Let it be very gentle and small and very, very natural. This is a part of you. This is a part of your body. Three, 2, 1. Releasing it, hands and knees. Cat-cow. Just let the spine move. Inhale, open, exhale, round. Widen your seat. And feel the pelvic floor free to move. Wide and narrow. Front and back. Five, 4, pause, neutral, widen your seat, press your thumbs down, widen your collarbones, gather the pelvic floor right through the spine. Thumbs press down, knuckles of the first fingers press down, open the eyes of your elbows. And then tuck your toes and fold back. So the block's set aside, fold your blanket in half once more. You have a long rectangle. And you sit in its center to lie back. Drawing your knees to your chest. Elbows down, heels high. Pause. Let your chest float and widen into the floor. Invite the breath to open into the lungs and the ribs. Sit the backs of your hips down and widen your heels, elbows wide, hands supporting the outer legs. Press, bend, find your way in, and heels wide. Close your eyes, long, deep breathing. Knowing that you're widening the pelvic floor. It has nothing to do with your sex organs. It has nothing to do with elimination organs. It has to do with who you are willing to be. Soften your left inner knee, left inner thigh. Right inner knee, right inner thigh. Left outer hip, left buttock.
right outer hip, right buttock. The low back soft, the pelvis, the low abdomen open. And the capacity for energy in the pelvic floor is expanded, softened, invited. Soften your knees, bring them together. Heels over the knees as you can, drain the legs. The breath is full and strong. The face is soft. Let the breath fill your abdomen. And the knees bend and the feet come to the floor. There is no effort required to be who you are made to be. In your most effortless, you may be most fully yourself. Rest in that. You deepen your breath and bring yourself to your side and then to your seat. If your playlist goes on, pause it. Build a cross-legged seat, adding any extra blanket, any extra layer that's necessary. So that you can sit tall. Nad yoga, N-A-D. Nad yoga is the yoga of sound. Because sound can penetrate where physical movement cannot. And we use our own sound to find our way into our very bones. That all of us knows who we are, that we are united at one frequency. I am this. I am this. The pleasure of that is remarkable. 8 count sat, 2 count nam, 8 count inhale, 8 repetitions we go in. Sat, nam, sat, nam. Sat, nam. Sat, nam. 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 Normal breathing. Let your attention rest down at the pelvic floor, but just above it, feel the left sits bone on the floor, the right sits bone, where you connect with your seat, the space between. Keep softening this, enlivening this. It is not a physical space. Resting there, may you develop great faith in yourself, great faith in your relationships, great faith in the order of all things. You are held and known. You exist from here. Hands high, bring it up. Thumbs to the forehead center on the exhale, and one more Satnam we go. Inhaling. Sat Nam. Satnam, loves. It took us a while to get going, so I won't hold you here at all, but I know it might be a lot of moving parts. Little at a time. Tomorrow we will do it again, and you will notice there is a change, a greater dexterity, like a child learning to pick things up and put things down. We give them so much time, we give them so many toys, a little stack with rings, bigger and then to smaller, and they learn how to order them. We give them a box with different shapes that fit in through different shaped holes, and they learn how to hold, press, release. And so their hands become dexterous and skillful. Similarly, we hold our lives, we let them go. They hold us, they keep us close, they send us out, right? Imagine these are great, skillful holdings, gatherings, catch and release. Your life expands from here. Until tomorrow. Satnam.